It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go sama us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my yegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my yegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my yegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My yegun don't come, oh. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Mayegun diary politico.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun diary na he be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní bójó bá rúfin o
Máyégún máa mi,
àní ẹ̀ sọ́ra jù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun live. And thank you so much for joining me again. If you had been on the platform earlier today, this is going to be the second time today, which is the prime time. All you have to do is to read the caption of the broadcast. Read beyond that too. Read the description of this broadcast. Like it. Share it. To invite your friends and then your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them that Mayegun today. And then sit back, relax, and let us talk. Brethren, dear Templars, it be like say this tax reform could actually be the catalyst that is going to break the center or not. The reactions of the political class in northern Nigeria seems to be pointing to one direction. They are about to go on a showdown with a koolu. There is no chance that they are going to win, but it is going to be very interesting how this is going to play out. Koolu is telling everyone that the koolu's handlers, they are telling everyone who cares to listen that this their tax reform is in the interest of everyone. So earlier today, I shared a recorded interview where Zulum from Borno outrightly condemned the reform and called on the northern lawmakers, House of Representatives, House of the Senate, to reject this, according to him, like this satanic bill. He said, this their tax reform bill would only favor Lagos to start with. However, it is going to weaken the northern Nigeria, something that he believes would also destroy their children and their grandchildren. I am going to start from that this evening because the message has been taken. Now it's been taken to their mosques. According to some of those who attended the Juma'at in northern part of Nigeria today, especially the Sharia north, their clerics are beginning to talk about it, preparing them for what is still to come. Let's start from that, and then we take it on and on and on to other reactions, including Ndume, who has issued a bit of a warning that it would likely be on his way out of APC. Zulum, ladies and gentlemen.
Mun yi tir da wannan dokan da aka kai a National Assembly. Zai kawo koma baya ma kasan arewa. Ba arewa kadai ba ma South East. Su ma za su samu problem da South South. South West din ma har da su Oyo, su Osun, su Ekiti, Ondo duk za su samu problem.
Kuna ganin cewar kamar riba ce kawai ga Lagos.
Lagos. So don saboda aka mu ganin mu haka. Su kuma suna gaya mana wai cewa wannan abin zai kawo koma baya ga Lagos. To mu muka ce inda haka ne ba ma so Lagos ya yi baya. ya kamata a bar yadda muke yanzu. Wannan ba adawa ba ne, wannan wani abu ne wanda mu a ganin mu cewa zai kashe arewa gaba daya. Don saboda haka mun kira kowa da kowa da shugaban kasa Bola Ahmed Tinubu ya kamata ya zanna ya duba wannan abin. Don saboda arewa in ka zuba board nashi kashi 60 aka ba shi arewa. Idan yana jin magana wayansu mutane cewa fa mutane arewa ba sa son shi, a'a, in an yi mana abin da muke so shikenan. Mu abin da muke so yanzu maganan wannan tax wannan kar a yi.
Ku kuna tunani kamar ku gwamnonin arewa haka za ku kira sanatoci da 'yan majalisar wakilai na arewacin Najeriya ku zauna tare ku nuna musu cewar wannan abu ba za ku yarda da shi ba?
Za mu zanna tare kuma mun riga mun yi magana. Amma mu abin da muke so me yasa ana hanzari? Akwai petroleum bill wannan da aka kawo ya kai kamar shekara 20 yana National Assembly kafin aka zantar da shi. To wannan abin an kawo shi cikin kwana 5-6 sati daya ana so a tabbatar cewa an sa doka wannan. Mu kuma muna ce ai hankali a duba tabbatar cewa wannan abin ko mu ba ma nan yara mu za su amfana. Fitinan da muke ciki tukuna mu a ganin mu kuma wannan billin ya wuce ko sallar ba za mu ya mu biya ba. Ko an biya yanzu muna gani shekara daya zai zama masifa.
Wato kuna ganin kamar cewar wannan kudurin dokar za ta jawo yunwa da talauci da kuma baya a arewa?
Har da security zai kawo mana. Su kuma suna ce ba haka ba, amma mu kuma muka ce tunda abin da mu muka ce ba maso. Lagos ya ce shi ma abin zai mai da shi baya. To inda haka ne me ya dame su yi hakuri mana su bari National Assembly members na arewa House of Rep da na House of Assembly ba arewa kadai ba ma wato South East da kuma South ko South West din ma akwai wanda ba ta so. Wannan abin bai nuna cewa muna adawa da gwamnati ba, wannan abin rayin mu ne kuma zai mai da mu baya yadda muka gani. Kuma na kira duk mutanen House of Rep da Senator kar su yi tafiya su zana daram, kuma kar kowa ya sayar da mu a yi hankali, kar kowa ya zai ce muku wai a'a shugaban kasa ya faɗa haka a'a ba haka ba ne. Wannan siyasa ne mun yi shi mun jafa mishi kuri'a ba mu ce wani abu ba, amma aka dawo wannan abun wannan matsala na tax wannan muka ce wannan abun ba zai fi damu ba, kara karba wani abu.
Kana ganin cewar watakila idan aka ba 'yan majalisa watakila toshiyar baki za su iya yin abin da ba kwa tunani?
To abin da dai yake tafiya ana maganganu amma dai ba mu da tabbas, amma ka san muna cikin Najeriya ne. Ni dai abin da nake fada kowa ya mai da hankali ga kasance. Akwai yaranka, akwai jikokinka, akwai 'yan uwanka da suna kauyenku da state naka, a mai da hankali duk abin da in an sa hannu zai kawo koma baya ba ga arewa, koma baya ga wani jiha, mu ba za mu so ba. Kuma amma muna so mu sake jajjara ma shugaban kasa mutanen arewa sun same ka, don saboda haka wannan abin da muna kukan nan ka duba shi ga idon rahama a tabbatar cewa duk abin da ana yi ba zai kawo.
70 years old man. Jesus is Lord. Jesus. Continue. 70 years old man. Jesus is Lord.
That was the voice of Zulum from Borno, the guy that has been living off donations, charity, as well as free allocation from Abuja. Because by law, whether they contribute 0 or they contribute billion to the cover of Nigeria, they will still get to be paid billions every month. There's a part of this law that I haven't really shared with you. I bet you are possibly aware. When we're talking about the consumption tax, which is the VAT. In northern Nigeria, their own argument is that there are users, for example, the telecommunication. After telecommunication, which is like the MTN, Airtel, and all these, telecommunication mobile companies, right? The next sector that pays so much into the VAT cover is the alcohol section. or sector. In northern Nigeria, these northern Sharia states, they are famous for destroying alcohol, but they have never rejected the money collected from alcohol. So you see, this thiefnubu's bill is going to deny them access to some of this money, including the alcohol money. And according to Zulum, if this is allowed to stand, it is going to impoverish the north the more. So today, in states like Kano, Kaduna, Jigawa, Yobe, and even Borno, they had their clerics telling them about the danger of this tax reform. According to them, though, they said that Tinubu did not consult with them when he removed fuel subsidy, which has left them more vulnerable in Nigeria today than the rest of Nigeria. That the same Tinubu is now plotting to further impoverish the northern Nigeria by bringing a reform he called tax bill reform, which would further reduce whatever they are getting from Abuja, and it must be rejected. I don't know why this was being preached in their mosque, but it is kind of like spreading like wildfire. Last night, coming back to Zulum later, last night, Ondo, who is from Borno State, said the timing is wrong. That the timing that Tinubu is doing is a reform on tax is the time when the northern Nigeria is facing serious economic crisis. And the people are very poor now. All the stories of if you are not earning up to 800,000, blah, 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 you are not affected. It's like giving them something by the right hand, with the right hand, and collecting it with the left hand. It was with Sheung. Let's put the whole thing together. This was from Undume last night, a Borno senator.
Believes that the tax reforms bill proposed by the executive needs some adjustment to meet the yearnings of the average person. He's been having his say, but it doesn't look like he's had his way because those bills have passed the second reading on the floor of the Senate. Now, Senator Alindume has been speaking with us on the program tonight. Senator, I mean, if you are saying that this bill does not meet the yearnings of the average person, and let me some of the aspects of the bill which I have been able to identify, which could be or could be interpreted as being a people-oriented bill. For example, if you are earning below or at about 800,000 naira, you pay 0%.
Yeah.
If you are earning 2.2 million and above, you pay about 15%. If you are earning above 50 million naira, you pay 25 million. Same thing with the categorization of businesses. Small businesses and medium businesses pay less, and the bigger businesses pay more. Do you don't think that structure or that arrangement is okay?
On the surface. Unless you want us to go again into this argument of expertise and knowledge. You know, I don't know what degree you have. I read marketing. I had diploma and HND. I went to US to do the first degree in accounting and computer science education. I did my master's also. So I have a kind of knowledge. I taught accounting, cost accounting, and all that. And as I told you, I acknowledge the brilliancy and look deep down. In summary, it's like giving somebody with the right hand and taking it with the left hand. And even maybe taking more. So let me take it one after the other. But they may have different opinion. When you say anybody earning 800,000 and below does not pay tax, VAT, on what? Do you exclude him from paying VAT from the goods that he will buy in the market? And then the corporate tax goes up, and now they transfer the cost or that taxes over to the consumer. So are you helping him? In fact, as of today, every consumer will tell you, or most of it is they are traders, middlemen. They will tell you that is the price of it. Like now, if the price that they buy from has gone up, like even today, the price of cement went up. And that means consumers will have to pay more. If you tax Dangote for his refined product, it means he will add that cost to the cost per liter. So if you say, okay, if you are earning 800, you will not pay tax. What of those so many people that are below that level? So that is one aspect. I have studied this thing. I gave the professionals, even the lecturers of those that are promoting it, those people that taught them. I approached some of them, and they said, look, this tax reform is good to do tax reform, not this one. Sit down and do it comprehensively and break it down. Why the hurry? That's a big suspicion. Why the hurry?
You think they're in a hurry?
They're in too much hurry.
The committee has been set up for over 6 months and have been working.
But the Senate, when did the Senate pass it? When did it come up? Was it not yesterday? And we pass it today?
So from your own end, from the Senate end, you think there is a hurry in it?
No.
And it's suspicious?
No, from the government end, there is a hurry in it. I told you about the PIB bill, which is as important. It took us 10 years.
This bill has been passed to the Senate since October the 3rd.
October, you said, is just how many months? We are talking about the bill that was there in the National Assembly, not even once. They changed it. In the House of Rep, we said they should go and withdraw this thing. They withdrew it. PIB, and then they work on it. They even changed the name. And finally, we passed the document, yet it's not perfect. And it may call for amendment. Why the hurry? And as I said, why don't you prioritize the government, reform the government first? And the major problem that we have in this country is corruption. Fight corruption.
So you agree that there is a need for tax reforms?
Yes, but not now.
The
not
legal
now.
framework,
Not now.
the legal framework that we have is very old.
Yes.
And is probably not working to the optimal. It's not optimally giving us the desired goal.
Yes.
But in what area would you like? Because you are a lawmaker.
You know what?
And you perhaps...
Wait a minute. Let me give it to you, Shegun. Don't come and lecture me here. Listen to me, because Nigerians want to listen. These guys, especially the Zaks in FIRS, is a very committed person. He should be commended for raising or maximizing the tax that he collected. And then the customs, they should also be commended for hitting $1 trillion. Is it 5 trillion or so?
The 5 trillion mark. They gave themselves a target of 5 trillion, but they surpassed it.
They surpassed it. These are the people that are supposed to be commended. Then you concentrate on blocking the loopholes, and then centralize. They say they will have more than 11 taxes. Yes. Why don't you harmonize those ones? Why don't you block the loopholes? Why don't you increase this one? Then gradually you come in to say, oh, let us even put this thing together in one place. You know, my fear is one of the biggest disadvantage is that they want to computerize and centralize the system, which is dangerous.
You don't want that?
Not I don't want that.
To harmonize.
Now, I know these things. That's why I told you I have computer application knowledge a bit. It's not the AI one.
You studied computer in 1990?
Yes, in the 80s.
Yeah.
It was analog person.
That's obsolete. That's your knowledge.
But you know what? It has never changed the concept of keys. You know what keys is?
Yeah, of course I do.
What is it?
I'm not supposed to be asking questions, Senator.
It's my turn to ask you. I'm a teacher. You don't know keys. Not the kiss you know that you kiss your girlfriend. Kiss means keep ideas simple and stupid.
Senator.
But in fairness, right, what some of them are not really saying is that thiefnubu's idea of harmonizing taxes to make it one is so that he can pave way for himself, okay, to take his own cut. And how? When they do this harmonization to start with, again, I'm going to be repeating myself, okay? The idea behind taxation ordinarily is a very good idea, which means if people pay more taxes, government can have money to execute their projects. That is a very fancy thing, right? Or an ideal thing. But what Ndume is saying, and the other thing is not saying, the first thing is saying is that there is nothing like you are taxing, some businesses higher and you are not taxing others, and it's a good thing for you. We are taxing some people who are earning this. We are not taxing those ones who are not earning this, which sounds good. Like, it will be like, well, at least they are not taxing me. They are taxing you because you are earning more money. But one thing is that none of you is spared from the taxation. Nobody is spared. In fact, if you are poor, you are taxed more than the rich. There is an impression that they are taxing this tax reform is going to tax the rich, whether you are a rich person or you are a rich company. So, but if you are not that rich, you are not making so much money, they won't really tax you. That is a lie. Do you understand? As long as you are a consumer, you will pay for whatever thiefnubu is asking from the supposed rich. And here is the explanation. If they tax the big earners more, the rich are not going to pay it. They're going to put it on you. The only way you can tax the rich, that it won't affect the poor, is that when you tax personal income of the rich. What does that mean? Let's say if they tax MTN now, let's say they tax MTN 30%, although they are lying that they are going to tax them between 25 and 27%. Let's even say 25% of their money or of their profit. So all they have to do, if, for example, let's say MTN makes 1 trillion this year as profits, and they are going to take 25% of that, divide 1 trillion into 4. That means 250 billion naira from MTN. So rather than for MTN, while MTN projected profits of maybe 1 trillion, okay? And now that they are going to tax them 25%, so MTN will now be left with 750 billion naira. So that means they are short of their own projection for their own shareholders. So what do you think MTN would do? MTN would then make sure that what they will take from you will eventually end them. They will just add the 250 or maybe even add the 400 billion. Because last, they must make their 1 trillion. So what that means is that MTN will make sure that their profit is 1.5 trillion. So that if they want to take their 25% from it, MTN will still have maybe like 1.1 trillion. So to MTN, they are not losing. You will pay for it. Your text messages charges, your phone call charges will pay for it, not MTN. So even if you are somebody that is not earning 70,000 naira every month, right? As long as you have to load your card, load your phone, recharge your phone and all of that. So the charges on your calls, on your text messages, MTN will make sure that they are more expensive than when they don't have to pay much taxes. So it's coming back to you. It's the same as somebody who is, the businessmen who are importing stuff to Nigeria. So when the custom increases the tariff, for example, someone who is bringing their goods to Nigeria and custom is charging them 30% in tariff of what they are bringing. Let me explain that. That means, let's say I am spending $1 million to bring stuff to Nigeria that I want to come and sell. Now, if they impose 25%, which is $250,000 on my imports. So what I'm going to do is, instead of selling down my product to that, if I bring my products in and they charge me 10% of my worth of my import, which is $100,000. So I can come to the market and sell that stuff to you. Just an example. I can sell it to you in Naira, maybe 2,000 Naira per one. That if I sell all my units, I will still make my maybe 1.2, 1.3 million. So in that case, if the custom charged me 100,000, I may just have a profit of $200,000 at the end of the day. But if they insist that they have to charge me 25%, which is $250,000, I will pay. The only difference, the only way to get my money back will be you won't be able to buy my product for 2,000 Naira. I may end up charging you 4,500 Naira. Considering the exchange rates, considering the tariff they put on it. So instead of you paying 2,000 Naira for that product, you end up paying 4,500 Naira. As a businessman, I will make my money. I will pay them whatever they want to pay, what they are asking for. They can go ahead and celebrate how much money they are making in tariff, how much money they are generating. But now they pay them. It's not that important. So if I manufacture my product inside Nigeria as a businessman, okay, and cost of production, and they sell the demand, all of that stuff, right? And I know that if I sell my product to you for 500 Naira, I will make a profit of, for instance, I'll make a profit of 50 Naira. Then they bring the tax that says, since my business is worth 20 million Naira, I'm using some numbers that are relatable that you can use. So my business is 20 million Naira. And I am earning above the 5 million Naira threshold, which they won't tax me if I'm only earning, if my business is worth 5 million, they won't tax me. That's what they said. Okay. However, they will tax me if I'm making anything above that. So I will pay. But now you will pay. So they told that you are not paying any taxes. It doesn't affect you. It doesn't, it no concerns you. This tax reform is to help you, right? They lied to you. It's going to affect you eventually. Then the other part is that the government is not the one that is going to take the money, the taxation at the end of it. Okay, it's going to be outsourced. So what Tinubu and his gang are doing is that we will take all these taxes. Okay, we've categorized it. Okay, so affect some of you, it's going to affect some of you, but we'll take all this money in and we will redistribute. I'm coming to the part of redistributing the money, but take all this money in, which is the job that they are going to outsource, like the alpha beta. So they will outsource it. So me, Mayegu, I can be given the contract on behalf of Tinubu to collect all this money. Money from customs, money from immigration, money from everywhere, the businesses in Nigeria, companies and all that. So I will take all this money in and I will take a percentage as a private company, consultant. It's not going to be collected by the FIRS. It's not going to be collected by the people that are being paid as tax collectors in Nigeria. No. It will be collected by a designated company that will then remove its own percentage, right? Like the alpha beta, before giving the rest of the money to Nigeria. And when the money is now given to them, they will now decide and say, well, how much did you collect from Kano? 500 million naira, but we have removed our 20%. Okay, you've taken your 20%. Okay. How much is left from that? Well, what is left now is a 360 million from Kano. Okay, you have taken 140 million. All right. Okay. How much did you take from Lagos? 260 billion naira. So have you taken your 20%? So how much is the 20% you have taken? So we have taken our 52 billion from it. Okay, 52 billion. Okay, from Lagos. So now we are going to give Lagos 60% of what is left from what we collected from them. And the remaining money, we'll keep it in Abuja. Do you get that now? So that's another one that Undume is not telling you yet. So this whole collection or no collection is built around the same model of what Tinubu did in Lagos. Do you understand what I'm saying? As a layman, did you? I'm still coming back to the part where we are going to talk of the effects once this is passed, okay? And this money collection or sharing formula, we're going to come to that. But you get the concept here. The concept of reforming the tax is going to affect some people, it's not going to affect some people, is a lie. The only way that you can actually tax the rich, that somehow it will touch the rich and it won't spare, not that it will spare you, the poor, is that if you tax their own income. For example, you know, say Dangote refinery is worth, according to them, $20 billion. So Dangote refinery in a year, once they started selling their, their PMS and all of that. So Dangote refinery may be making, maybe plus or minus. I'm just using some random figure now, right? Maybe they are making 1 billion. And inside that 1 billion, Dangote has a share of, let's say, 55% shares in his own refinery. So other shareholders, every other person that invested in his refinery, they will be the one to share 45%. So you would say 55% of 1 billion. That may be somewhere around $550 million. That money is for Dangote personally. So if Dangote is making 550 million from his refinery alone, and maybe the other businesses and all of that is making maybe another $500 million. So if Dangote makes 1 billion, or let's say $1.2 billion from all his businesses paid to him, so that money can be taxed by, let's say, 40% of it. So that means Dangote will pay 40% of his own personal money that he earns. This one is no longer about what the company makes now. It's about his personal money. So if they tax that like they do here in Europe, they do that. Okay, they'll say, okay, we're taking 40% of that money. So that means Dangote will not go home with 1.1 billion or $1.5 billion every year. Dangote will only go home with somewhere around maybe $800 million. Nigeria will take about 600 million or $700 million directly from Dangote's pockets. But when it comes to Dangote's company, if they are taxing Dangote's company of 25%, Dangote doesn't have to worry. Now you go pay. You get? Now go pay. Unfortunately, the real looters of Nigeria, their money is not taxed. You get what I mean? Because majority of your criminal politicians who pad budget, who steal money, they don't run businesses. Once they collect their share, they move it outside Nigeria. So, what Undume said about giving you something with right arm and collecting it with the left arm is so true. But we are also coming to the real impact. This is the collection part, the sharing part. which is another contentious issue. Ndume added.
That is number one.
Okay.
Number two, there is
So just before you move forward, tell me, when do you think would have been right to present this bill?
when there is no hunger, when people are living, not surviving. Look at what is happening in America. Before they swear in Donald Trump, didn't you hear? I sent you that he said he's going to cut taxes because of inflation. Are we not having inflation? Inflation is going up. We're supposed to cut taxes. Ghana here, that are neighbors, they are cutting taxes. They reduced their VAT from 17% to 3%. Go and check it. They have abolished airline ticket VAT. They have abolished, tax on imported spare parts. They have abolished several taxes in Ghana here.
I imagine that the proposition.
So
that
they are moving. Wait now.
Yeah.
You should move from tax reform to first in Nigeria. What we need to do is to reform the government. You know, part of it. Go and check our personnel and overhead expenditure for this 2024 is about 50 to 60% of the budget itself. We are here in November. 20% of the budget has not been implemented. But if you check the recurrent expenditure, it has been exhausted. So that means over 15 to 20 trillion is going into personnel, debt service, recurrent expenditure. Go and check. This is not real.
But Senator,
we should reform the government. Number one, reform not only executive, reform the government holistically. Then number two,
including your Senate.
Yes, my salary.
Maybe reduce the Senate and the National Assembly to one unicameral. Is that how to go?
That is okay with me if it will reduce costs and it will make a difference. The only problem with that kind of government is that you have a one-way role, you know. Like now, the advantage of bicameral legislature is that we have passed this to second reading.
Yeah.
If the House of Rep doesn't pass it, it's as good as nothing.
So the other thing, you said two things. First of all, is the timing. But I also want to...
give you the second one.
Yeah,
please.
On the part that you mentioned about some of the items
Let me give you the first...
that should be exempted, just for a moment, sir. One of the some of the items you talked about in exemption, that in the case of Ghana, but the proposition in this bill seems to exempt most of what the average and the poor will buy.
Food. That is not
essentials.
True. That is not true.
That is what is in that bill.
That is what they are saying now. This is what I'm telling you. Which one will you take?
I've read the bill too.
But I'm telling you, no.
What you read?
You misinterpreted the bill.
Maybe the copy you read is different from the one
same. Are you one of those who think that you are more knowledgeable than myself?
You finished from Ohio, Senator.
Yes.
Why didn't you go to an American university?
So you see?
I finished here.
Sit down and listen. Number two. Because I've been a teacher, sir.
For 20 years?
Yes.
I taught for 4 years. So we might be in the...
5 times, I taught 5 times. So, but on a serious note, number one is the timing. Wrong timing. Number two is the issue of derivation, which is there.
Derivation is a
Number three is the issue of VAT.
Okay.
And number four is the buy-in and lack of consensus and the buy-in of Nigerians. That is number one.
Thank you. Honesty bright. You see, I am an illiterate when it comes to taxation. Thank you. I am not saying I'm a professional. Okay? And I can tell you something as well. If I want to run on my own emotion, like some of you, I am going to say Tinubu's tax reform is good. But it is as evil as Tinubu, right? So I do not really need you to patronize me by saying, I listen to Mayegun's diary, but on this subject, he's an illiterate, or what do you call me? Yeah, he said, this is I don't even know, like somebody who is calling me illiterate is barely finding it difficult to actually spell or type a sentence that makes sense, right? So I won't take offense. I would rather just probably lecture you a bit. I am not an economist, but I understand that if I put £100 in my pocket and I spend £50 from it, right? I will be left with £50 without anyone having to speak all kind of grammars to me. And I can also possibly tell how much of that £50 is going into VAT, which is the value added tax to it. And I can also tell you why, I can tell you or show you that without this tax, like a VAT added to what I'm buying, I possibly won't need to spend the £50 on what I am buying. So, in a nutshell, if all of us look at the sentimental parts of it, which is, as some are putting it, the thiefnubu's tax reform is to make the North work harder. Like I said, if I'm putting my own emotion into play, I will jump into it and say, yes, show the North, which I can still do, but I can do both by educating those who care to listen, right? So what Ndume is saying is also right to some extent. Nigeria, under Tinubu, they wrote a budget. And inside that budget, this 2024, 70% of the budget is on recurrent expenditure. Only 30% is for capital expenditure. And what does that mean? 70% of their budget is to pay salary. It is for consumption. It is to consume. The remaining 30%, which would have been to invest in the critical sector of the country, like good roads, electricity, right? Including like, security per se, their economy. Now, when you now take a look at their budget of 28 trillion naira, 20 trillion of that money is to pay people's salaries, pay politicians, pay workers' salary, pay this and pay that. Just consumption, nothing. It's not going to bring anything back or add anything to the economy per se. Even though some people will argue, they will say when they pay workers their salaries, right? They will spend the money in the economy. That is good. But on what? In an economy that is not producing any real thing within the country. The rest of the money goes into making life comfortable for politicians. And like he said, rather than reform tax, which will give you more money, by all means, it will give them more money. And the more money they get, the more they spend on recurrent. So the budget performance shows that when it comes to recurrent money, which is money for payment of their own emoluments, buying themselves, or they always buy, bought for themselves, buying cars, building houses, going abroad. That is performing to the fullest. They know they miss some. That one is not missed. In some states, salaries are not even paid. You understand? Salaries are not paid. But when it now comes to the capital expenditure, something that could actually really boost and help their own country or economy, the performance is, again, recurrent expenditure performance is almost 100%. But when it comes to capital expenditures, you barely see it get to 20%. Because, number one, the economy is almost like in comatose that doesn't really produce anything than just what they are doing to take money and take money from everybody. The money is not reinvested on the people that are paying it. It's not reinvested on the same economy that is giving them the taxes. So which simply means it is just being taken and consumed. So it had no value per se. They can tax you like even 60, 70%, take more money. But where does the money go to? It goes into taking care of these freeloaders, these criminals. thiefnubu is appointing a lot of aides and all of that. And similar thing goes on across Nigeria. Money spent on frivolities that doesn't even add any value at all. So if you want to reform, what you first need to do genuinely is to cut the waste. Cut the waste. You do not need 12 aircraft, including shoppers, to serve your political class. You do not need that. You do not need to buy cars for your lawmakers. They can find their ways to the same assembly, Abi. You do not need to increase the salary of those who are already earning more than their counterparts in the rest of the world. You do not. So if you block the wastages, that means you can still have some that can be diverted into one. If you invest in your own power, for example, and Nigeria becomes a country that is having 24 hours electricity, businesses don't have to be paying for electricity and at the same time fueling their generators to run their businesses. So that means they can save. And the more businesses saves, right? If you cut down these taxes, right? The more they save, the likelihood they will expand, and the more they expand, the likelihood that they are going to employ more people. And the more people are employed, the more taxes that will eventually come. The more people that will pay taxes. And just same thing, it's like a cycle. The more money you take in, the more you reinvest back into the country, not on yourselves. So the northern Nigeria, who has been receiving this free money like forever, they have never invested, not invested in education, not invested in real infrastructure. They themselves, they are just the mini size of the federal government that is taking the chunk of the money, just the mini federal government, which means as they are collecting the money, they are sharing the money among themselves. Similarly, more money goes into recurrent expenditures than they go into capital projects. So if the money is not forthcoming, most of them will become insolvent, which means they will go bankrupt. And that is the fear that is currently pervading the land. The one that they are going to now turn to political, as it is already turning. Consumption tax, which I have explained before as well, means when you are taxed for buying something, right? That money should possibly just go straight to the cover of the states where you are consuming that particular, product or so. But Nigeria, the way Nigeria is kind of like politically structured, the money doesn't really go to your states. Even though, like some of these northerners are saying, the consumption tax that are being paid to Lagos states from the telecommunication companies should ordinarily come to them. And I think Tinubu and his gang agreed in that their reform, but that, yeah, okay, fine. We will collect the money, calculate it, and then give you your percentage. If you are talking about telecommunication, because the North is arguing that their region, by population, they use more mobile networks than the rest of Nigeria. So the money should come to them. But in all honesty, that won't still give them more money if they continue to break the bottles of alcohol. And something that they haven't told their people, alcohol is haram according to this Sharia norm. They have isba that that is busy destroying people's businesses up north. They make real sure of it. But with Tinubu's tax reform, alcohol VAT will not be paid to northern Nigeria at all. And after telecommunication, the Nigerian breweries, they are the ones who also pay the most. I mean, from this 2023 report, I think they are actually like after telecommunication, it is these Nigerian breweries. And it is not, somebody said it is not only alcohol that Nigerian breweries actually produces, they produce other non-alcoholic drinks and all that. But the issue is that alcoholic drink actually pays more in taxes. So if you are not consuming alcohol or destroying the bottles of alcohol in northern Nigeria, it simply means there is going to be drastic and massive reduction in what you are going to get. So somebody said they should then become creative. The only way the northern Nigeria can be very creative is, one, they need to end funding and rehabilitating terrorists, whereby if they can actually invest their money in agriculture, they can make a lot of money, which would make, whatever Nigeria is giving to them every month, peanuts. There is no chance that they will do that. They've grown so lazy enough that they don't care what or where the money is made. Just give us our share. That is on on the table. And as we speak, it seems that it's going to be a bit of a showdown, and I don't see how they are going to pull it off. So presently, they are calling a meeting. And that meeting is that the North must reject Tinubu's tax reform. It is not like outright no. But unfortunately, again, they don't seem to have the number. From what I saw the last time, as they are campaigning against it, Tinubu and his own gang, they are also campaigning for it. Getting some of the clerics that they can get on their side, as well as musicians. I found one quite interesting. This one.
Godiya muke.
Tinubu godiya muke.
Wata ina godiya ake.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Tinubu godiya muke.
Tallaka na godiya Tinubu.
Wata ina murmushi ake.
Tinubu godiya muke.
Wannan tsarin gaskiya.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Gaba ya zo godiya muke.
Tallaka na godiya Tinubu.
Talakawa suna godiya.
Tinubu godiya muke.
Arewa kudu godiya muke.
Tinubu godiya muke.
Wannan daga ɗan taimako ta.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Tsarin biyan haraji.
Tallaka na godiya
Kadan a
Tinubu.
fitar da mu a keji.
Tinubu godiya
Mata
muke.
su yi zaman gidan mu.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Ƙarshen wahala baba ya rufe.
Tallaka na godiya
Kwamar
Tinubu.
cuta baba ya rufe.
Tinubu godiya muke.
Haraji ya samu boko.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Wannan tsarin dan ta mu ake.
Tallaka na godiya Tinubu.
Lallai za mu ci moriya.
Tinubu godiya muke.
Talaka za ya ci moriya.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Tinubu muna godiya.
Tallaka na godiya Tinubu.
Talaka zai yi dariya.
Tinubu godiya
Da
muke.
sabon tsari na gaskiya.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Biya haraji kar da mu tsaya.
Tallaka na godiya
Dan
Tinubu.
wannan sabo aka yi mana.
Tinubu godiya
Sabon
muke.
tsarin baba ya mana.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Ruwa duk zai zagarin duna.
Tallaka na godiya
Gida da
Tinubu.
gida nan da munduna.
Tinubu godiya muke.
Mutum ko riga da wanduna.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Talaka na godiya. Hai. Yawa, an talaka na godiya.
Da sabon tsarin kwarai.
Wannan sabon tsarin biyan harajin da aka yi. Wala Ahmad Tinubu dan mutum mamoriya ya yi.
Tallaka na godiya.
Da sabon tsarin kwarai. ƙasa.
Tallaka na godiya.
A da in an biya wasu su sace muku 'yan ƙasa.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Wannan ne yasa aka canja tsarin don 'yan ƙasa.
Sanan mu muna godiya.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji don mu ci moriya yayi.
Tallaka na godiya.
Da sabon tsarin kwarai.
Wannan sabon tsarin biyan harajin da aka yi. Bola Ahmad Tinubu don mutum maboriya
Su
yi.
ne ke kushe wannan tsarin ya 'yan uwa.
Tallaka na godiya.
Suna yaɗawa su ce wai za ku yi cutuwa.
Sabon tsarin biyan haraji.
Domin an toshe hanya wanda suke morewa.
Sanan mu muna godiya.
Hanyar bashe kuɗin harajin ku a da koyuwa yayi.
Tallaka na godiya.
Da sabon tsarin kwarai.
Wannan sabon tsarin biyan harajin da aka yi. Bola Ahmad Tinubu don mutum maboriya yi.
Godiya muji. Tinubu godiya muji. Wo, elemi lo ma last. I told you that I don't see them winning, but there is a strong feeling that they will not go down without a fight. The type of fight is what I don't know, but I can assure you that they are currently pushing. And I do not know how they are going to outsmart thiefnubu on this matter. But I am here for the fight, if it ever leads to one. Or maybe it's actually not going to be any fight. This Zulum guy has spoken out against it. And for speaking out against it as well, there are others who are currently holding it in. They do not want to have any confrontation with koolu. But for those of us who have been following their style in northern Nigeria, it is somehow looking pretty much like a lost one. And like somebody said, the ideal thing right now for northern Nigeria is for them to genuinely declare all the resources they themselves have been, illegally mining, making money from, to make them public. This is a lost battle. The raining days are over. Be almost. Even those who don't agree with thiefnubu, they believe that this particular one, it must not be reversed. There are other states that will suffer too. In all true essence of it, it's not just the North, even though they are the one being vocal right now. But like you have all said, maybe all of them should become creative. If you have any resources in your states or resource in your states that you can turn to money, the best time was yesterday. The best time is now. If thiefnubu finally have his way, by this time next year, there is a possibility that some states in Nigeria will begin to look for how to merge with another, since they are already planning to even create some states too. Insolvency means if the money coming from Abuja can no longer fund the lifestyle of some of these states, they will either have to find a creative way of making money, or better still, merge with another state. Ekiti can merge with Osun. Ekiti, Osun, and Oyo, they can all merge together and become one. Ogun, maybe Ogun State can still survive to some extent because it's the third richest state in Nigeria when it comes to IGR. So states like the Niger Delta states, they will survive, I think, because forget about VAT, this or that, okay? I think they will likely manage to survive once the oil companies are relocated back to their state. Because all they have to do is to say, if all these oil companies that are paying their corporate tax in Lagos, if they don't return back to this state where they are making they are drilling the oil, maybe they don't come back here, they will just turn off all the tap, right? Close all the oil exploration. Or they will go into a special arrangement with thiefnubu by saying we need 50% of our crude oil sales now. And if they are not going to give it to us, then tell all these companies to return back to us so that we can tax them properly for them taking our oil. I'm just saying now because last, the Rogodinyon will start from within. And issue of money, criminal politicians in Nigeria, they don't joke with money. That will be the beginning. That will be the beginning. So everyone will need to devise means of making more money. You know, say you go work or you go broke. You see? So the idea of one Nigeria may actually be coming to an end. I know that one will kind of like, that one will sweet your belly. You know, that will make it. I've had people who have said that I don't agree with thiefnubu on this particular one. I can see where it is going. And if what I'm thinking is what is happening, is a good thing. A lot of you have been waiting for a day you are going to have your own pound of flesh. It's just that it will cost everybody something. And when it begins to cost everybody something, right, you will realize that the mirage of one Nigeria is a lie after all. If there is no money to share, there is no one Nigeria. Yeah, there is no one Nigeria. All this idea of one Nigeria, having all these your governors living like emperors all over Nigeria, even those of them who are, generating 50 million, 100 million, you are seeing them writing budget of 500 billion naira budget, 1 trillion naira budget. So where are you going to see the money? Because they are waiting for money from Abuja, and they are also expecting that they can use the name Nigeria to borrow money, that they will squander. Now that they know that nothing is going to be coming from Abuja that much. Not that nothing, things will still come. It's just that it's going to get cut down a lot, while some are going to get more. For example, Lagos is going to be like California. Lagos is going to make more money. But if everybody decided to use waiting they get for waiting they want, Lagos will lose some money too. Yeah, Lagos will lose some money too. It's not going to be an easy ride for everyone. So that's when you realize that this one Nigeria, it no be one. Now bobo, now fake. If you are a northerner, I am happy to tell you that they've lied to you, okay, about this one Nigeria. Now the money where they share make Nigeria one. Once the money no day again, you will realize that actually you have a lot in common with Niger Republic. Yeah, you find out that you have a lot in common with Chad. You do not have anything in common with the people from Abia or people from Osogbo. You don't have anything in common at all. That one is even far. That's when you realize that you do not have anything in common with the people of Jos, or the people of Benue, or people of Kogi. Now, one Nigeria, they make you think, say, you have something in common, and you are northerners. Now, then you're going to say, you know, be northerners, so you'll be a Arewa, Sharia, and there are Kwararafas, and there are Yorubas, and there are Igbos, and there are Ijos. This one Nigeria idea, now because of the sharing of money, make can look like that. Once everybody can they bear their own papa name now, it will be a matter of time that you're going to ask yourselves, what is the essence of this one Nigeria self? You will have to join your cousins in Niger. That's the way I see it. Now, that Zulum guy again, right, today, said that, you see those children that thiefnubu kidnapped from northern Nigeria for protesting against hunger. See? Now, because of thiefnubu's policy of removing subsidy led to the End Bad Governance protest in northern Nigeria, the one that lasted for 10 days, the one that nearly wrecked the thiefnubu's Okay, maybe not. It's only impactful in northern Nigeria, if we are being honest, right? They killed 46 people. Officially, from our own record, they killed more than 150 people from that 10 days protest in northern Nigeria. However, on the record, they said they killed 46 people, right? And they kidnapped over 1,400 protesters, hungry protesters. They said they wanted to overthrow Tinubu. Another protest is coming. And according to Zulum, Tinubu shouldn't have released those minors. He should have left them in prison, in detention, to teach others who are likely going to want to protest against him in the future. The same ones that all of you are going to need very soon. The guy don't even get sense.
Shine kwana nan da aka kama mutanen da aka ci a sake su a federal government. Na ji dadin sakin su, amma kuma ban ji dadin shi ba. Cajin da aka yi musu treason din bai kamata ba. Laifin da aka je musu bai kamata ba. Amma ya kamata a hukunta su in gaskiya ne a kai su remand home ko rehabilitation center. Don saboda su tabbatar cewa wannan abu ba za su yi nan gaba ba.
He said they shouldn't have released them. You should have left them in detention, or you take them to rehabilitation center where they are going to be for a while. That is a guy that is happy to have released over 160,000 repentant terrorists that kidnap and killed people. He is happy to rehabilitate them. These ones never spent a day in jail. They just came out of the bush with the children they kidnapped and raped, put in family way, and they came back and said they have repented. And he's happy to celebrate them in Borno State. That is the guy that is saying the children of the poor, the hungry children that they kidnapped and then locked up shouldn't have been released. I like that statement. I just read a statement now when somebody said on Facebook, yeah, bro, you said you support this idea of tax reform because some states have become lazy. You are right to some extent, but you are not wholly right. The only lazy states in Nigeria are mostly from northern Nigeria and even southern too. You see, this laziness is systemic, including the federal government of Nigeria too. The federal government of Nigeria made laws that makes all these states lazy. Their law says all the mineral resources in Nigeria belong to the federal government of Nigeria. Or maybe not all. Normal. Every state in Nigeria should be able to tap into their own mineral resources, develop it, make money from it in order to take care of their people. That's the normal way to do things, like you have in America. In America, states that doesn't have mineral resources per se, they tapped on their own human resources by investing massively in education so that that educated population, right, can be so creative enough that once they begin to kind of, produce things that the state can tax them from, then the state make money from it. Texas is also one of the richest states in America. They are allowed to tap their own crude oil. Not the government of America, not the federal government of America. It is the government of Texas that is extracting the crude oil. They are not stopped from doing that. In Nigeria, it is the federal government that is issuing licenses to those who are going to extract the crude oil, even though the people that are doing that are not even from those states. So they don't care about the environment. They don't care about the people there. So everybody just have to wait for the end of the month to go and collect money from Abuja. If people are allowed to actually tap their own resources themselves, use it for their own development, there will be no poor state in Nigeria. Not a single one will be poor. But the way they structured Nigeria is to make them lazy. Rob Peter to pay Paul. Rob Paul to pay Peter. No, not Peter to pay Paul is actually the right one. In my own state, Ogun State, we have the, after Imo State, Ogun State is another state with the highest deposit of liquid natural gas, but we can't touch it. Ogun State has a bitumen, has a, what do you call it, crude oil, but we can't touch it. It is reserved for Nigeria. There is no state in Nigeria, and most of all the other mineral resources across the states in Nigeria, because it belongs to the federal government. So a lot of those states, and so those politicians from those states, and then traditional rulers, they are making deals to allow illegal miners to mine them when no tiny shishi is given to the people of that communities or those states. They are not benefiting from it. So that is where the idea of the idea of resource control, regional system of governments, or at worst, true federalism comes in. If the people were asked to, if they want to be part of this contraption or not, under what conditions, that means every state in Nigeria can actually take care of themselves without these criminals who are stealing those resources for themselves and leaving the rest of us to go cap in hand, bowl in hand, to go and collect allocation from Abuja. And when you get to Abuja, it is whatever they give to you that you have to take. None of this is also reinvested anyway, unfortunately. So you are not totally right when you say all of them have grown lazy. Even the federal government of Nigeria is lazy. Despite giving themselves this power to control all our resources, right, in that contraption, they themselves are not innovative. They are not progressive about it. What they are interested in is just to take rent from all those resources. They are not interested in developing them for the betterment of the people. They are only interested in collecting rent from it and then sharing the money. So you are not totally right. That is how everybody grew lazy over time. I just thought I should add that. But a man that is forgiving terrorists is complaining that the children who are victims of bad governance, who complained about hunger, and then they got kidnapped and locked up illegally for 3 months, 93 days, should have been left in those detention. That's a Zulum. Well, I'll pass on to that, to another one now. Okay. In River State, where some criminal politicians, Wike and co, went to court to stop the allocation to this state, and it became the news and then controversial at the time until when they reversed themselves. They went to court and told court to stop giving money to River State. I mean, the state with the highest contribution to the Nigeria's money they share every month. River State contributes the highest because of their crude oil that they are taking from their states, even though nobody can give account of how much the crude oil is being sold. But yeah, they are still on the table as the contributing the biggest. Kubara, who was talking to the supposed civil servants yesterday, told them that even though they've reversed themselves, if they had upheld that nonsense to withhold their own allocation, it wouldn't have even bothered per se. It still has enough to pay the workers the new minimum wage, which they have started. So it's been the only state right now that has paid that minimum wage. Fubara of River State. He was addressing them earlier, yesterday. It was last night though. And this was what he said. We'll listen.
Of the states wanted us to experience a dark, or will I say a black Christmas. But because we're determined to make sure that the interests of River State should be the first thing, we're able, not easy, but to meet our obligation as a government. And today, I can say boldly that our civil servants are happy. Even in the face of all the propaganda that my location fell inside one bridge. But the civil servants are happy. We are the first state, not just making the promise, but living up to that promise. Today, civil servants that were collecting 70,000 before are jubilating with 120, 140. What is the greatest joy any government can achieve? It's not, you might do some project, you might do that, but the most important thing is the happiness that you leave in the hearts of people. That is the truth. People will forget that Dr. Odili built this banquet hall. But they won't forget the story when they couldn't pay their children's school fee because of poor salary, and their salary now improved. They will always remember, look, if not for that government, this my son would not have been a graduate. If not for that salary, this my son will not be a lawyer. He will not be a judge. He will not be an engineer. So the most important thing is making sure that our Rivers people are put first in everything we do. So let me thank every one of you that have continued to support us. God doesn't start and end halfway. We're determined to follow this journey, and we'll follow it to the end, where everyone will know that it is only God Almighty that gives power. I need to commend our security agencies for their support. I can say with all amounts of assurance that they've been very cooperative. I know there are a lot of them under one pressure or the other, which is normal. I can always ask you to do the right thing, but will not ask you to do the wrong thing. Therefore, doing the right thing is easy, and that brings peace in the state. We're happy with what you're doing. We'll continue to support you to succeed in River.
Aye, right. Anyway, we are watching. Same cannot be said about Kano. You know, we are talking about revenue most part of this evening. And then a letter that was written and sent to Peter Obi early mid-year of 2024 has surfaced online. It was a letter sent from the Kano State Hospitals Management Board. And in this letter, they were asking for a support, said forwarding of request for building of accident and emergency maternity complex, ambulance, and 100 kVA generator in respect of Minjibir General Hospital. With due respect and honor to your good office and exemplary leadership, I wish I was directed to write and forward the above subject matter in respect of the above heading. This hospital is a general hospital with about 106 bed capacity, operating 24-hour service. Sir, we need construction of accident and emergency maternity complex, ambulance, functional generator, and renovation of staff quarters. This was sent to His Excellency, Honorable Dr. Peter Obi, presidential aspirant, through the principal medical officer in charge, Minjibir General Hospital in Kano. This was Kano, right? And I think it's the same letter, written the same day, just kind of looked like one pretty much like was taken with Nokia phone, and the other one was taken with Huawei or something. Kano State is adjudged to be the richest state in northern Nigeria. It is like the Lagos State Medical Board writing a letter to Gandola. Okay, maybe not Gandola. Writing a letter to a politician and say, please, can you please come and help us build accident and emergency maternity complex, ambulance, and all of that stuff. This is the problem. Earlier today, I shared a clip of their governor in Kano State, who is the stooge of Kwakwansop, where he was sharing wheelbarrows as an empowerment for them in Kano. And the other day, we saw the video, the picture of a Kano lawmaker who took a selfie with a pile of cash. The money they later enveloped to be shared among the poor people in Kano as a means of empowerment. 10,000 naira in the envelope. The money itself could be somewhere around 15-20 million naira, or maybe more. Remember that image? I don't have it this evening. But this, investing in healthcare alone, right, will save the poor people a lot of money that they don't even have. So investing in infrastructure that actually help your people saves them, it saves lives, and it saves money. Today, people have to kind of fend for themselves by paying for everything. Everything. The government will pretend to be helping the people, and then they will come around and tell you that the government cannot do everything. And they have actually put this in the mindset of Nigerians to say the government can't do everything. So people have to do some. So therefore, politicians will steal money. Money meant for the hospitals, schools, roads, even power. They will steal the money. And then they will now turn to philanthropists. They will then say, I will give you scholarship. Or I will buy you WAEC form. Or I will give you 50 million naira to renovate the community hospital. So the job of government is totally expectedly to have been taken over by the criminal politicians called the philanthropists. It is a Nigerian thing. And that is why an average Nigerian will look at you and say, what have you done for the people? And I'm like, what do you want me to do for you? I am not your government. But if you have money, you have to do so. What did you do for your people? What did you do for the... Why should I do something for you? In that manner, like the way they ask, charity is really good, right? You give charity, you support charitable causes. It is not your duty to construct or renovate hospitals. It is not your duty. It is not a private citizen's duty. It is the duty of government. But because the money has been stolen, shared, politicians have now turned to philanthropists. I'm not saying that Peter Obi stole, because there's no record of him stealing any money, though, right? But it's a Nigerian thing. It is not the duty of a Peter Obi to renovate hospitals or give money to... No, it's not. But it is a Nigerian thing. He is expected to do it so that they can see him as the man of the people, the kiniko of the people. I have no record if he answered them, but the letter just kind of resurfaced again online, and that that happened to be my thought, my own thought on it. Like, why should he write to me to come and fix community hospital? Why? Since I have been living in this Glasgow, 12 years of living in Glasgow, I have not seen any politician come around to come and fix my community clinic. No. There is a state budget for it, right? And every penny budgeted for all these clinics, all these community hospitals like my GP and the rest of them, right? Every penny budgeted for them must be given to them, so that we won't have to write a letter to any politician and say, come, our GP service is, we need a generator, we need a syringe, we need the roof is already falling apart. We need your help, sir. No. It is not the duty of any politician to come around and become a philanthropist. Not that way. But not in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is going to be brief. It has been reported that Tinubu's trip to France has now put the Sahel states, countries like Senegal, Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Niger Republic. It has now put them on alert because they believe that Tinubu is now considered as the enemies of these West African states. In fact, their own belief is that Tinubu is being prepped to launch an attack on Niger Republic. I said something like that. I said something on that 2 days ago. I don't know. I just feel like there is this sort of a spirit that leads me when I am talking about some certain topics. It is not just based on my research and all that, because there are things I would say that are actually not really out there. And it is coming from the position of saying what I have seen, what I have heard, and what I have read. You get, they are putting the whole thing together. Okay? I am able to get to some level of awareness and then projection. See, when I was doing that program 2 days ago about why Tinubu is in France, I looked at all variables, all factors, I put them together and something. Then I was like, listen, that invasion of Niger Republic is only put on hold. It's like paused. It is not over. Then, immediately after that, my program, I read it somewhere. In fact, I saw a follow-up on David Undenyi's Twitter, where he was having this breakback with the French ambassador office, the French embassy in Nigeria, somebody who works in the embassy, right? That they actually have French ship that is docked in one of these West African countries, Nigeria or Cameroon or Cote d'Ivoire, just not really far, Benin Republic, not really far from Niger, that they could launch an amphibious attack on Niger Republic to get a Bazoum out, remove the junta, the military there, and reverse everything that has taken place in that country in the last 1.5 years. I was like, okay, but why would they do that with thiefnubu this time around, even though we believe that France being kicked out of these countries, right, automatically means they are looking towards Nigeria to replace the loss that they have, incurred in these countries. Then last night, another news broke. Chad has severed relationship with France. They no longer want to have the French military, the French forces and all of that in their country too. They want them gone. Then this morning, Senegal also announced that France should remove all of their bases from their country. In the next 3 months, they have to remove all of them. I was like, okay. I didn't see that coming. I didn't know about all of that 2 days ago, because I believe it didn't just start yesterday or 2 days ago. It must have been ongoing, but I just didn't know. But somehow, something told me then. I felt that there is more to thiefnubu going to France. So all I could do is just to alert some of you and say, look out, whatever they have lost in these countries, they will want them back in Nigeria. And thiefnubu is never going to question that. If they ask him to jump, he's never going to ask questions. He's just going to ask them that, how high do you want me to jump? And I later found out today that there has been an ongoing protest in Chad, which prompted their own government to say, we need to sever relationship with France. All these Francophone countries are severing relationship with France, but Koolu is right there. Ghana, Akufo-Addo is there to fill in the gap. What the heck is going on? Are we getting ready for, because you know something, tonight, the reason why I can't share the video is because I couldn't get the copyright approval from the owners of the video, so I just had to pass. There's a video, in fact, there are videos of Russia airlifting weapons to Niger Republic, man. I don't know if some of you have seen it, but if you haven't, go on Twitter right now, okay, and search for Russia, Niger Republic, weapons. Just those 3 keywords. Russia, Niger, weapons. Go and search for that on Twitter right now. And then you'll come across all these videos. I think it was about 2 months ago. Is it up to 2 months? Maybe, under 2 months ago. Burkina Faso took delivery of some armored personnel carriers. I think it was about 10 or so of them. And they used the Ghanaian ports to receive them because they don't have their own port. So they received them through Ghana. And then they drove them, like they moved this armored personnel carrier from Ghana to Burkina Faso. So Russia has been kind of like flying in and out of these countries to kind of, prepare them. I'm talking about weapons that I saw videos that they are in cases, rocket launchers, all this stuff that you can see maybe people are preparing for war. And they are not old videos. These are videos that are just about a week or 2 weeks old. They are not old videos. So something is cooking, and some of us don't even know. Until we begin to hear, boo, boo. Because it is believed that even France too has been here dropping weapons for some of these Janjaweed terrorists in the Sahel as well. an allegation that France has denied. They've denied many of these things anyway. Now France is accusing Niger Republic of human rights abuses against terrorists. Do you know that? I just found that out today. The Janjaweed terrorists, about a month ago, the spokesperson for the Janjaweed terrorists in the Sahel was invited to France. It was on French TV. Clean shaved, not clean shaved, but very smooth shaved. It was looking like, you know, king. Like, this Arab guy was on French TV and defending the Janjaweed terrorists that they are fighting for their rights. The Niger Republic is killing them and they need France to support them. On French TV, Janjaweed terrorists, they were interviewing them. They're talking about their people, how their people have been suffering for years. This said, and they are fighting for their life. And they know that they must have their own republic out of Niger, out of Mali, out of Chad. All this area in the Sahel is supposed to be their territory. But the Nigerian authority, the Chadians, the Malians, the Burkina Faso, they are attacking. Now I want to take over these countries now. How did you kind of create your own Sahel states within these existing countries already? How? But they're on TV. The guy was on TV. So now I saw Russia. They're dropping weapons. Like, they are not using Porto. They are flying the military planes into Niger Republic. This is what thiefnubu is about to drag you into. It is not over. If anybody tells you that because thiefnubu couldn't go on and invade Niger Republic last year, and then he is there in France today and you think he's talking about a trade, I just thought you shouldn't be caught unaware. So when I have more, I will share more. As they are currently in France, celebrating the new UBA, Abina Zenith Bank in France as an investors agreement. I saw that clip earlier too.
I'd also like to recognize Alhaji Aliko Dangote, the president of the Dangote Group. I also have the pleasure of introducing our Honorable Minister of Finance of Nigeria, Mr. Wale Edo. We also have the head of Treasury of France in the shape of Mr. Bernard Dumont. Forgive me if I mispronounce his name. We also have with us the chairman of the Bua Group, Alhaji Samad Rabiu. We also have Mr. Ike Mokwede, the chairman of Access Holdings.
I don't know what they are cooking. I think it is more than what they have told us. Of course, it is always more. But the ideal thing is that you have every right to suspect these guys. Every reason to suspect them. Today also, the Canary Dino was in Osun to meet with Governor Ajogba Fida Ade Jackson of Osun. And it was a moment for him to remember or remix the song he sang for Yeye Bello. Now that Yeye Bello has been arrested and is on trial for looting 110 billion naira from Kogi people when he was their governor, Keneri Dino was in Osun today. He's been in Osun for days now, okay? But this clip made it to the internet today, and it is the remix of his 2021 song. Yeye Bello ma ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba. I know. Yeye Bello ma ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba. Have you heard it?
Àjẹkùn ìyà ni ó jẹ́. Àjẹkùn ìyà ni ó jẹ́. Ẹni tí ó tó nínà tó ń dènà dèní o. Ọmọ ológun sí àjẹkù ìyà ni ó jẹ, àjẹkù ìyà ni ó jẹ, ẹni tí ó tó nínà tó délé òdèdè. Àjẹkù ìyà ni ó jẹ, àjẹkù ìyà ni ó jẹ, àjẹkù ìyà ni ó jẹ, ẹni tí ó tó nínà tó délé òdèdè. Àjẹkù ìyà ni ó jẹ. Mo kọrin kan fún Yaya Bello ìpele ni. Wọ́n ti gbé léni. Mo ní, do you know Yaya Bello máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba? I know Yaya Bello máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba. Do you know Yaya Bello máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba? I know Yaya Bello máa ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba. Àwọn tó mọ̀ mí. Wọ́n máa bọ́ kò sí nǹkan tí yóò lè sọ. Federal government versus Dino Melaye 12 cases. The last one mo win here 3 weeks ago. Federal government 0, Dino Melaye 12. So ìjọba tó ń lọ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ yìí, Ọlọ́run ló máa dé àgbà gbogbo wa. Èmi mo sọ o, gómìnà kan ló sọ o, PDP dẹ̀ kan ló sọ, Dino Melaye ló sọ. Ọlọ́run ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Ọlọ́run ràn gbogbo wa lọ́wọ́.
Do you know Yeye Bello ma ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba? I know Yeye Bello ma ṣẹ̀wọ̀n lẹ́yìn ìjọba. It's actually, it's a sweet song, but Yeye Bello will not do ẹ̀wọ̀n. Yeye Bello will not do any ẹ̀wọ̀n. Because in Nigeria, criminals don't really go to jail. They get rewarded. The bigger your crime, the bigger your reward. Especially if you belong to APC. Egbekegbe. So he is there in Osun to celebrate the 2nd year anniversary of Governor Ajogba Fida De Jackson. And to commemorate that, they also shared some palliatives for the poor women of Osun, like this one. I think it's Gary, maybe. Yeah. That wasn't shared by Ajogba Fidao. It was shared by one of his lieutenants, I think. Yeah. Ajambadi. Omo Ajambadi. Okay, so his name is Babatunde Abimboye Michael. Abimboye Babatunde Michael. No be Gary be this. I think it's Gary. Yeah. Long over. Exactly. God damn it. Director Scott. God damn it. It's palliative just to commemorate the 2 years of the dancing governor, formerly the dancing senator, the Ade Jackson, the dancer, Governor Ajogba Fida. I will tell you that it's a Governor Ajogba trophy. In Lagos, Wahab was out yesterday. Again, it seemed that he is not just doing the job of environment and, illegal structures and all of that. He has added the job of the NDLEA to his job specification or description. The Lagos Commissioner for Environment, Tokunbo Wahab, was out last night as they were checking on those who they believe were selling drugs to people. Some of them were arrested and their shanties demolished. Okay. Something like this.
Bàbá wọn gbà ẹ má bá wọn gbà o. Èmi pa o. Ẹ máa fẹ́ sọ sórí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ sọ sórí ìgbà tẹ̀ ń ta. Èmi pa o. Ilẹ̀ ń ta. Àtàlí mo jọ fún. Ẹ ra máa ṣe nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ sí gẹ́gẹ́ o. Èmi pa o. Má bá wọn dán o. Èmi ò tí ẹ ọbí tí ẹ bá wọn dán o. Ẹlẹ́dàá mi kọ̀. Èmi pa o. Àwọn tá a kó jọ yẹn ẹ̀jẹ̀ òní pẹ̀sán wọn á sọ fún mi náà wà ní. Èmi pa o. Èmi pa o. Mo ti pa drug. All these people you are seeing, they have just come to buy this thing.
Check them. Check them. They are not smoking.
Do you know for how long we have been monitoring them?
You are Muslim.
About 4 days ago we were here. 53 of them that I arrested, they are in prison now. Go and find out. 53 of them.
I didn't know.
All these ones, they are going to join them. By tomorrow, we'll join them in prison.
Please check them. You can come to our house. They are not smoking. Please. Please, sir.
Madam, come. Go and pick that waste. Why do you have to drop it? Go and pick it up. Sorry. Just go and pick it up. Madam, carry that in. You will follow me. Oh. You don't know that it's wrong. You don't know, you will come and explain to them that you don't know that it's wrong. Just follow me. Please. You cannot say sorry. We don't take sorry. Madam, just follow me. Just follow me. Explain to them.
The woman walked for 90 seconds. 1 minute, 30 seconds. There was no bin anywhere that she could put her own waste in. But they kept following her, you know, how to keep Lagos clean. All right. The moment she dropped her waste, they grabbed her. I wish she was like, I am a choosing. I am a choosing. I am a choosing. Mr. Man, who are you? But she didn't do that. So I've been deceived online when I kept using that same, you know, say, Mr. Tax Force, who are you? So she didn't say I'm a choosing. I am a choosing. I am a choosing. She's a choosing, oh. But she didn't say I am a choosing. I am a choosing. Who are you? So, Mr. Commissioner, if you happen to see my video, we know Lagos is a stinking place. It's a mega shitty. In your own city plan, maybe we're not supposed to kind of begin to mount bin, waste bin on your major road, right? Your streets. So that when people have any waste to drop, they can drop them in those bins. It will help. Instead of them having to drop all their waste in the middle of the street, in the middle of the road, like we saw in that clip. All right? And yeah, the task force who recorded the video, you too, tell your guys, all right? When people have to walk miles and there is no waste bin anywhere, public waste, public toilets, you want to stop open defecation, right? Open up a public toilet, well-maintained public toilet, well-maintained, you know, street bins, so that people can actually drop in their, you know, they can drop all their waste in there. Anyone who doesn't, then you can find them. In my own opinion, though, I know I'm just talking to the wall, just talking to myself. So I saw a clip where they said that thiefnubu want to change Nigeria from consumption to production. Is it because this, you know, Obi said consumption to production? This is not something you just talk. You have to kind of put policy in place that shows that you want to change Nigeria from consumption to production, not when you all are consuming the scarce resources by yourselves, for yourselves and your cronies. Here is AIT report on that one.
Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu has urged Nigerians to, as a matter of urgency, join his administration in moving the nation's economy from mere consuming to a producing economy for the good of all, saying everyone must be involved in governance and production activities. Tinubu, who was represented by the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Nkeruka Onyejocha, disclosed this while declaring open the 10th National Labour Summit at the Michael Imodu National Institute for Labour Studies in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, with the theme, The Future of Work and Renewed Hope Reform Agenda, Issues and Perspectives. According to the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Nkeruka Onyejocha, President Tinubu wants Nigerians to come together and be part of the movement to remove Nigeria from the space of poverty by understanding what the economic indices are and how to improve on them.
We are at the verge where everybody has to be involved. We are at the point where everybody has to really understand what the economic indices are, how to improve, where everybody now has to be involved in governance and even in production. We are consuming economy. Now everybody has to join to be a production hub. Everybody become productive, then there'll be food everywhere. When some people believe that it's only you that will go to the farm, how many hectares of land will you be able to cover? But everybody's planting small in your corner. You understand? Everybody is productive, like I said. You understand? Everybody will be satisfied.
What our patriarch, in his wisdom, in his voice of wisdom, Jeremiah Obafemolo said, he said nothing could be more dangerous than ignorance. So future work, we are talking of the future of this country. And it's all rest on labor force. And that's what we are doing today. It's what this great institute is doing to educate us, to educate the Nigerian, to know the right from the wrong, to know what is expected of us.
If you decide to vote, if Tinubu wins, all of you are going to join. That is God has spoken. Just let it go live. Let it go live as spoken. Just we have said it. Let me say in English so that they won't understand. Okay, sir.
If Nigerians vote for APC,
Nigeria
will sink.
We
will swallow in poverty. And the economy will be in shambles. If the government of APC continues, Nigeria will suffer extraordinary. I'm not in support of anybody. As a matter of fact, I don't vote. And I will never vote. I am telling you that we have never seen Archie before. Then this is when we now experience more Archie. We will be sick.
And the economy will be sick. Mr. Kiloroko Were, Joby. Tell me, Kilo funny. What is funny in that nonsense you just typed there? I know somebody has managed to get rid of you, Mofo. Does this make any sense to you? Tax reform increases efficiency and good accountability. Does that even make any sense? You called me Olodo. So, all of you, do you this closet Ronukus? Now shall they find your way, to find your way onto Mayegun's diary political. Emilolodo. Tax reform is going to increase efficiency and accountability. What does that even mean? Efficiency. Is it like you just all fancy to be using these fancy words? So who are the people that are going to become accountable? And who are those who are going to have their efficiency increased? The jobless Nigerians or your criminal politicians? I would rather just kind of like, let me just leave it to that. Okay? Because that's what they do. They use the word, they use all these fancy words that make them sound like they are educated. Educated. Increase the efficiency in a country where your national grid is collapsing, like epilepsy. So you just drop a fancy word to sound like you are educated, Abi. Mr. Joby. Can you imagine? The same way thiefnubu will be talking about, dropping words as if to say he actually knows what he's talking about. It will increase efficiency. Efficiency. It will increase accountability. Accountability. What the heck was that? Your criminal politicians are not even accountable to you. How did you find your way to Mayegun's diary political? To come and sound like you are educated, Abi? Ish. And I know that's exactly what the likes of Wale do. You too, when he is talking, you'll be seeing him drop all this grammar, all these big words. That doesn't make any sense. When you want to try to apply the reality of Nigeria to it, you just be like, what are you talking about? Tax reform will increase efficiency and accountability. I won't weary. So you want to sound like somebody where, did you learn that word from the guy that is promoting this tax reform? I've been from Zaka Dideji, you learned that from. Mad people everywhere. Efficiency, accountability. Like you dey wine. Where did you learn that from? Oh, I'm so sorry that somebody has kind of got rid of you though, right? What I call miss road, right? You missed the road to enter this place, Abi. And you call Mayegun Olodo. And thiefnubu, what will you call thiefnubu if you call me Olodo? What are you going to call thiefnubu? Ologmo ori abi, olopolo. Olori buruku niyi. And last, when you drop all this your word salad and all of that, you'll be reading your next press release from these lunatics, the ones that are defending the naira with dollars. We are defending naira. You know, so you probably kind of got that from the thiefnubu guys, right? Efficiency, increase efficiency. What is going to increase efficiency if you don't have power, if you don't have security, if people are not gainfully employed? Tax reform will increase efficiency. Accountability, what does that even mean? You want to put APC, and accountability in the same sentence. Or the new one shake with one. Or shop with one. If they don't know, I don't even know how old you are. You may be one of those Olori Brukus that are living abroad too. Yeah, the ones that love Nigeria from abroad. Accountability, efficiency. That can you worry, Nisha. You know. Anyway, it's good enough that somebody got you, okay? So we shall see the accountability and your efficiency later, though, right? So that is us on Mayegun's Diary Political tonight. And I am going to take calls. And this may be your own chance, okay? If because we are not that busy tonight, it may be your chance to call into Mayegun's Diary Political and add your own contribution as well. So what I'm going to do next is to go on a short break. However, the segment of where we take calls is sponsored by the Ya Rasulullah's Digital. They were on this platform 2 days ago. Now, right? Where we had everyone who has gave it a shot. And if you are looking for, a chance to try out something new, I'm talking about where you would like to, take a look at a business opportunity that can earn you a legitimate income from outside there, what you are currently doing, and you are ready to be trained in this regard. Just bring out your phone, turn on the camera, turn your camera on your screen right now, and scan this QR code, okay? There is going to be a link on it, right? Tap the link, read more, and possibly, right? Check it out by signing up. All it will take you is $149. Now, if you feel like this is what you have been looking for, right? I advise you to possibly ask all the questions from this vendor, so to say, okay? And if you feel like it is not for you, you know what to do. You can cancel it and you will get your money back. Every penny of it within 3 days, right? So thank you so much, everyone, for your time. Like I said, if you have been trying to be on Mayegun's Diary Political, this may be the time for you. Utilize it. And I may, I could be talking to you next, right? So I'm going on a short break. When I come back, right, I will take calls. Don't go anywhere. And if you have to go, remember, like the broadcast.
Aha!
ó ń ṣọ́ pásítọ̀ àwọn àmọ̀jọ sticker ló ń ṣọ́ wa àṣẹ kò rí pé orí wa ti burú ìwọ má dira ìpápá ìrarùnrin yẹ́n kàn wà ní báàbù tó ń jẹ òjò gbèsè àgbẹ̀tọ̀ àbí kò gbẹ́rì tí kò gbè tí a fẹ́ jòkòtò ẹ̀rà gbẹ́rì tí bá yọ píù àwòyí àárín mo mọ̀ yín pé wà nínú báàbù pé ìgbà tó fẹ́ mú Jésù kọjá ní àárín òun ògèrí Jésù kí ni Jésù lò àfẹ́ rí ló lò ìwọ má dira ayé bàjẹ́.
Nigeria round nìyẹn. I have my first caller this evening. Hello there.
Hello, Mayego.
Hello, sir.
My goodness. I don't dance tired. Thank you so much.
I tell you, now my own time with that. See, now time when I take stretch my leg after sitting for like 2 hours. I will kind of stretch my body that way.
This is Odogu, Mayego.
Odogu, my man. How are you this evening?
I'm doing great. Thank you, man. You look so wonderful. You look so great this evening.
Thank you.
I like your attire.
Now you're me taught to. Now you're me taught to be my designer. Now ain't dash me agbada.
Thank you. He's doing great.
You're
and thank you for that dance. Yeah.
Thank you.
When that song was when you were dancing, what came to my mind was you know that Tinubu song. He would just stretch his hand and then shake a little.
You know, I should have done that. I should have. Right?
Yeah, that would have been so cool.
It would have been.
Yeah,
okay, I'll try it next time I put on agbada.
Yeah. So
thank you, Odogu.
And then another song that came to my mind was the Atishete.
Oh, I have to take that off the list. Man, I'm going to try and bring it back someday.
Please, always keep it as one of your introductory songs.
I will. I promise you. I'm going to look for it and bring it back.
We've
got collections of all of this stuff, but sometimes I just feel like, let's go to another one again. But yeah, I'm going to go get it and bring it back.
that one is epic. Please don't keep it out. Yeah. So on today, thank you, my brother. On today's episode, my brother, you see, today is the climax. You see, all the prayers some of us have been praying is working, even though it's not working according to
not
the
as
way
we plan now, but somehow
it's working.
They work small. They add up.
Yes, you see, Nigeria is going down.
It is
going down very, very rapidly. Please, my prayers for everybody is if you can hang on there. Nigeria is coming down. Allow Tinubu to do. Tinubu will be the last man to finish Nigeria. One thing is to be finished. Another thing is to be finished. So this tax reform stuff will be the last kill, the killing shot, and it will now tell everybody why are we in one Nigeria. This is the only thing.
You get that? There will be no meaningful thing to say we are one Nigeria at a point because. Around that time, there will be nothing to really fight for.
Nothing. We are just there. We are just waiting for the kill shot to just get fired. And then everybody will now go and to your tent, Nigeria.
Yeah, now.
That's where we are now. Because for now, it still happen to some people like, what is going on. Nigeria is broke.
They be like
individuals. Individuals are richer than Nigeria itself. And any money that they realize from Nigeria goes into private pockets. What else are we standing for? There's nothing else to talk about Nigeria except to just go on and take out whatever you can take. So this is just what I wanted to say this evening because I am happy we are there.
I tell you.
And if they cook, if they burn, if they boil, and if they get
as they talk right, they show your shoe they shine, your face they show, your shoe they shine.
Correct.
Even if you disagree with thiefnubu on many fronts, right? This particular one, we want it to happen and see what thing will happen.
This is the Shegementin Pro Max. That's where we are now.
We shall see how far it is going to go. And the people that were threatening people with their Muslim ticket 2 years ago, today. They are telling us that thiefnubu is targeting them. Man, they make sometimes.
Mumu tickets will not save anybody. The fact is, they don't set ball on the penalty kick. Not only for somebody to come and kick it. That's what we are waiting for.
Yeah.
Once you set ball, they don't set ball in front of the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper. goalpost only for somebody to come and kick where anywhere you kick and we go enter. That's where we are now. So they go still shaggy, and I have no pity for any northern state, for any northern governor, for anybody in the north. I have no pity for them, because when they were making this decision, they felt they were doing the right thing.
They thought they were doing the infidels. Now here we are.
Yes, we are of course we are still the infidels. We are going to see how it's going to end that. So let me give space for other people. I yield my mic.
Thank you very much. Let's take another one. Yeah. Indeed. I know that a lot of people, one of the reasons why a lot of people are going to disagree with me on top of this matter is that the fact that this money sharing syndrome, which northern Nigeria political class have turned to their birthright, that if anything is going to change that status quo, even if not the devil won't do them, it will get their support because they want to see how far it will be. I get it. Here is a caller. Hello.
Hello. Baba good general.
Hey, Baba. How are you tonight, sir?
I'm blessed.
You prefer to be called comrade, too.
Comrade, absolutely.
How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm great. And just let me contribute to what's going on now.
Please.
Yeah, the one I can't wait for is this issue of Tinubu, your friends. Yeah, I know I've listened to the bit you've said. Yeah, but I'm thinking that it is on this is my own analysis.
Yeah.
Yeah, given the little information we know and given some of the things you've just mentioned, which I'm not aware. Yeah, you shared, which I'm not aware. Number one, it's going to be disaster for France to go and attack. But,
that's why they don't want to do it directly themselves, I think.
No, they can't do it directly. Even either way, it doesn't matter who is involved. But the only one thing, one interesting bit here is number one, this is a two-edged sword.
Right.
France cannot go in directly.
No.
But there is urgency for France to do something. Number one, if Trump comes in, that possibility may not be available. Because Trump is not for this. Trump is in the business of making money.
That's right.
And not war. And for France to go into that place without America is going to be very tricky. But he can do it while Biden, because they are pro-war. And they are the people, they like to eat where they've not sown. They're the ones that essentially they've been disturbing that region anyway. As far as America and France is concerned, including Britain, of course, but they are very quiet players. You don't hear Britain, but that does not mean they're not part of it.
That they are not.
No, yeah, they are part of it. And there's no way they will never be part of this. But the issue now is that France, if they're going to go in, they need to go in before Trump comes in. Yeah, they cannot go in directly.
Some people also believe, sir, some believe that, you see this Russia-Ukraine war, right? There is a chance that when Trump comes in, as we are already seeing the sign, there's likely going to be a peace deal, likely. I mean, let's go to the word likely, okay? And that simply means if we take into what the legacy media are currently pushing, the idea is that Trump is going to possibly favor Russia. And if we all know that for the past few years, one of the reasons why the Americans under Biden, as well as NATO, are focusing on Africa is because of the advancement of Russia in Africa. You understand? When they believe that Russia is gaining...
No, not strictly. It's about their own interest. It's about their interest.
About their interest. I'm talking about the clash of this interest. That as these West African countries are kicking out the West, they are moving towards Russia.
There's a reason for that.
Right.
You see, the issue here is that, look, because America doesn't want Europe to depend on Russia.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why this issue of gas and geopolitical issue with Germany, Europe. America has made sure that they're able to destroy that. Yeah, to make sure Russia is not distributing gas to Europe anymore. because that really worries America that Europe is depending so much on Russia. But of course, they have to get them alternative.
Which is
the alternative is Nigeria. It's not just Nigeria has trillion deposits of gas, absolutely. And the project is being in the pipeline to get the gas pipeline, connected in Imo all the way to the Algeria and Morocco.
I got that.
I get it. Yeah, absolutely. So the issue now is nobody could have seen that Niger, Mali, and all the Sahel people, they're going to they're going to get rid of France. So now getting rid of France means that pipeline may not happen. And there's urgency that, otherwise Europe, they're going to be strangled. They need this energy. It's costing us so much. Right. Interest rate, everything, all this impact. So the issue now is, look, France is even very peculiar because, number one, apart from the gas issue, uranium is their backbone of their own energy. And they've done so much in terms of investment in nuclear power. So they needed that uranium at that cheap rate. So to make sure that, look, if they're going to go in, they probably have to go in now before Trump comes in, because Trump is not pro-war. You see, and all the French companies are like sort of getting, look, the economy is going to be flattened out. The airline is being stopped from, I think it's that region. The airline can't come in.
Airspace and
yes, they can't come in.
Still in effect.
Oh, definitely. So they are eating France in different angles. They will have loved this Sahel countries may not have had too much issue with their airline, but because there is possibility of them bringing their servicemen through these guys, that has happened already. So to avoid that, they just want to cut France off totally. Now, what they want to do is through Tinubu. Yeah, if they're going to attack, they can't just attack. It's still glaring. But what they want to do is they want to use this Libyan, that Libyan tactics that, they're killing some people, therefore they want to come and defeat. That will not work. Yes, it's not going to work in this case. It's not going to work. Even if they succeed in getting rid of this military, it's going to be guerrilla warfare. France cannot win this time around because many African countries can see.
Like, look at the rate at which they are all cancelling France now. It seems that something is really fishy right now.
Absolutely. So it's not going to happen. But having said that, let me give another scenario.
Yeah.
The second scenario is assuming that Tinubu, assuming that the chief of staff that was killed, like Baja, supposing is masterminded by the North. Yeah. That will not go down well with Tinubu. And that's going to be a big problem. Therefore Tinubu will say, I'm going to show you guys. Nobody mess with Tinubu. He's going to...
They could have hand in it. That's some conspiracy deep stuff there.
It could have been poisoned.
I mean, it's been reported that it's poisoned and they never carried out any sort of autopsy.
Yeah.
He never had cancer.
I'll tell you
There's no record of him having cancer, but they said he had prostate cancer. Prostate cancer.
Listen, I'll tell you what.
Please.
The guy, they want to use the terrorists to disrupt Tinubu's administration because they're not getting their way. And Tinubu, and that guy, because he obviously is from the Southwest, is having good deal with them. He's dealing with them seriously. That doesn't go down with them. So they might try to, get rid of him.
But it's their loss. Because another Yoruba person took over again.
But the fact that they got rid of him may not go down well with Tinubu. And Tinubu, you know what? Okay. You know what? If Tinubu should go into Niger, then there'll be problem with the northern, they normally show
that from the onset, they said they do not want their cousins attacked, which is
absolutely. But the question is,
and Co wanted to push at the time.
Yeah, absolutely. But now you got rid of Lagbaja because they didn't want that. Tinubu said, you know what? That thing you don't want, now I'm gonna have to break your back now because you've been troubling Nigeria for so long. We can have the Biafra, we can have Oduduwa. Because it's going to be a complete mess.
I love your conspiracy, by the way. I want to believe it.
Okay. I want to let somebody else tell me.
Thank you very much, sir. Right? So somebody said that all of us will learn geopolitics by fire by force. He said we will learn geopolitics by fire by force. Hello there.
Hello, Mr. Mayegun.
Hello, sir. How are you? You might need to actually mute the broadcast in the background so we can hear ourselves.
Okay.
Please.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's better now. Thank you very much, sir. Please, go ahead.
Yeah, I have to keep it's Aya from Cyprus.
AY from Cyprus.
I called you like 3 days ago.
I remember, and I'm glad that you're back again. It's quite not really busy tonight, so it makes it more like interesting to have a
yeah. I was even on the live program this afternoon.
Oh, were you?
Yeah, I am, but I was kind of busy. I have other things to do, so I couldn't join like even call. So I was like, oh, tonight I'll give my contribution because throughout today I've been like since yesterday, based on this trip to France, I've been like I have a close watch to every activities going on there, from the band nonsense music these French people are playing. You know, all this. I was just like, oh my god, why this man is been like acting so like I don't even understand.
It's a royalty.
I feel like this guy is bringing us to, you know, during this colonial era where the this place where we had this slavery whatsoever.
In Badagry,
Badagry
the port of no return.
Like he gave me that memory, like based on what I'm seeing in all this whole situation. You know, only in the Yoruba way, that's what France is playing for. This crazy.
It looks so fake as well. Like all this kind of like
no. See, everything French government, whatsoever they do, like they are doing, and this their visit to France, it's fake. They have more. You understand me? Because they be like they know, like they have more to what they are doing. You understand me? They know what they want to
gain. This is an attention they never gave to Nigerian presidents before.
For where, like
I don't have any record of them giving this kind of attention to Nigerian government before.
Come to think about it, what Tinubu is doing right now, it's even belittling Nigeria. Yes, because forget it, I'm not praising whatsoever past government. Yes, I mean all of them are failure. Yes, I mean
I'm with you.
During Tinubu, during Obasanjo has been on his like he's up to the task. Like he presented himself like I'm more than anything. Yes, I mean but we like you coming down like I believe, and these people even fear him. Yes, I mean whenever this guy like back then,
pretty much respected, rather.
When he's going to meet them, there's a way there's some only Baba báwọn ṣe sọ ní Yorùbá way. Tàbá ṣe pé tó nípa bá ṣe pé gbẹ àṣìmábà náà. Let me use that word. You understand me? I don't know how to translate it in English for my people to understand.
The way you dress,
the way you present your you understand, they address you that same way. You understand me? So I say it that way, but this guy is just like, you know, when you are too urged for power, you understand me? You just want to give anything. You are, yes, that is what I say in Tinubu. You understand me? He's ready to give away his respect or whatsoever. He just wants to go down. Like there are some things you don't need to do. You understand me? You don't need to go to that to some extent. You understand me? And let's talk about it. You go there. You're talking about sandwich. You're talking about egg. Egg. Are you crazy? How much? Like, what are you talking about? Not just that. He's still talking about you are assuring the investor to come to. You know what? I was in Nigeria, July, August. You understand me?
This year.
Yes. Can he? You understand me? As a president without any security force. Yes, as a president that he is, like pick a vehicle from Abuja and said he's driving down to Lagos without any security, and he tells me his mind is at rest. He should come and tell us, like tell these people that you are telling him, I have vouched for you that the security aspect is serious, that they don't want the investor they should come back. Can he do that?
Dare not.
Drove from Abuja to Lagos without you being scared that I'll be kidnapped or I'll be gunned down while driving. Is it like, I don't know what they are turning this country to? And the France you are going to go and meet, this is the same France, the like of Senegal, Mali,
Burkina Faso, Chad,
all these francophone, all this, they are telling them. Even I read it on Today Head Notes, yesterday, that I posted that the Senegal president is telling them, he gave them a certain period of time.
3 months, they must leave Senegal, close all their base there. They don't want them anymore.
Okay, let's compare Senegal to Nigeria. I'm sorry to say, yes, because this is a public space, yes, we have the capability. They believe we are the giant of Africa. But for these people to rise up, these are the people speaking French. We are not speaking French.
No, we are not.
And they are telling the French the people that colonize them, that leave my country. You should know these people have done them bad.
And then you rush to embrace them.
And you want to embrace them and bring them to your country. Are you crazy? Does it you don't know? Do you think at all? Okay, they said when you talk about gold and diamond or whatever, France is one of the toughest people in the whole world. They have this. Did they see? Is there any gold in France?
There's no gold in France. Nowhere.
Yeah. So you should know that these people are thieves. Yes, they know the taxes they're paying. And you talk about tax or whatsoever refund or tax bill they are doing. I seriously, based on the person that called and the first caller, they tell me, I'm telling you, Nigeria is getting to that stage. It's it's finished already. We are going finish. Maybe you good. They want to I don't understand.
By the time they are done with us, Baba, I hope our children will still have a place to call home. I hope.
I don't know. Well,
thank you very much. Thanks so much for calling in tonight. Okay.
You're welcome.
Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I hope I kind of speak to you again. And if I don't, definitely. Just enjoy the weekend.
No, okay. Yeah, I'm always in contact with the program, so
bless you, man. Stay safe.
All right.
Have a good night, sir. So I have another caller, and I believe this is Osita. One name.
One name.
Number. I'll say that to you now. How are you, Baba?
Yeah, I'm all right. And you?
Well, I'm very well. Just, same old, man. Same old. We are here trying to kind of put all this info out there and then let people kill their ignorance so that nobody can say, I didn't know. Because ignorance is now a choice.
God bless you, my brother.
Amen. And you too.
Yeah. This as kind of subject, sometimes I can't just wait for it to just roll by without me saying something. You see, when we're talking about possibilities, Tinubu will go to war. I'm not counting on the possibility. I am praying to Almighty God that he will go to that Niger Republic.
Yeah.
And when he goes there, he will see the consequences. A great consequences in the sense that if you look at the Ukraine war, when you read about it very well, this Ukraine-Russia issue, you will find out one thing that the West doesn't do, and they don't want to do it. They don't like long-time war. Because of the stockpile, they don't have the equipment for a long-time war. That's the reason they don't do that.
They just want to do it quick in and out and end it, and then quickly make their profit and move on to the next one.
Exactly. Then their own headache, the adversary they have, which is Putin and China. When you go and read about it, you will hear that they have stockpiled for a very long period of time. Building all this military equipment, no, people think that it's something like the way you build, I mean, the way you,
like you buy
produce,
food,
the way you produce Fanta and Coke. That's not the way. Some of those equipment, it takes even 365 days to get it ready.
No doubt.
So at the end of the day, what the Russian did was to make sure that they stretch the wall. And when they stretch it, they know that the West cannot win. So that was exactly what was done. And so
because
if
they could have marched to Kiev and do all of those things within like maybe a month and all that, but they didn't.
They didn't because of it's a superpower that they are dealing with. If it is the smaller nations, they will have just marched into the place and end it like that. If somebody don't know, everybody should look at the war. Everybody knows that the Israelis, when they fight war, is still the NATOs that backs them up. Go and look at it. They are all short-term wars. The wars that lasted long, at the end of the day, Americans will pack their load and leave. That is what they do. The Second World War, they didn't enter the Second World War until Roosevelt find out that, oh, everybody is weak. That was when he went into the war.
Until later.
Later. So when people are talking about this thing, oh, Tinubu will go to this thing, and if he goes there, I pray that he goes there. That is what is going to break Nigeria so quick, in the sense that these whole people from Sahel, they will pour into Nigeria.
They will.
And do their Boko Haram stuff the way they are doing it right now, that it is going to be unstoppable. And when it's unstoppable, all of us will come out and demand that we don't want to be part of Nigeria anymore. Everybody hold yourself.
It's a country that is already like literally broken anyway.
The country that is broke, that don't even have military, that is even workable. These are all military.
So let them.
Let them. I pray to God. I pray to anything anybody believe that, let them go to that war. It will help us faster. And if they don't go to that war, that means they are more than imbecile if they don't go.
They are just a bunch of cowards, generals without war.
Look at whether anybody likes it or not. The power of the West. That power is gradually going down and down. What you're experiencing in the world is that the world needs a reset. You need to have everybody needs to come to one round table and discuss how this world will be governed. That thing they did in in Berlin conference. That conference, I keep telling people that conference, it has expired. That particular conference has expired. Now they come to the round table and have discussion. But the reason they don't want to have that discussion is because of Africa. They don't want us to come down there and dictate how we want to be governed. Because if they come with that part of that roundtable discussion, trust me, we will come and tell the whole world how we want to be governed. You see all these practice you see in African leaders, it is going to end.
And that is what going to be the West losing their feeding bottle as well.
Yes, just like you said. Yesterday was when I read that thing, that the whole Sahel states in Africa, they have asked the West, not just France. They asked the West to leave their country. That is what you are saying.
So that's why they are serenading the druggie now, to make him feel so important, because Nigeria is so strategic to all of their foreign policies. When you look at the West, they will tell you Nigeria is so strategic. If anything goes wrong in Nigeria, the rest of Africa will feel it. Maybe now, in their selfishness, they are about to trigger that button.
Exactly. So when you're looking at it, somebody said, "Oh, that they don't want Europe to be depending on Russia." It's all lie. It's all business. Even whatever France is getting from Africa, Americans are getting it. It's a NATO plan, which they won't let you see what is the memorandum of understanding. Whatever France is making, whatever Britain is making, Americans too are getting shares. That's the reason too. You see, their countries, they deploy most of their Marines in Africa too.
Yes.
So it's not as if they are just deploying; they are getting it. The truth is that
you know that I saw it somewhere, Osita. I saw it somewhere that after blowing that, you know, that Russian, what do you call it? Gas supply, Nostromos or something. What's it called? Right?
Yeah, the pipe.
Right.
Yeah,
so they said, America now said, if anything goes wrong with African plan, they are willing to supply gas to Europe, which means now, you know, America have their own gas. They have all this crude oil in abundance too.
Yeah.
But they just don't want to touch them. Rather, they will take from all over the world first. The reserve that America have for crude oil is probably like, you know, I'm talking about the ones they've taken from all over the world that they bought with a $1, right?
Still buying.
And they are still buying. So they are now promising us in Europe that if Africa fails, right, then they should come and buy from them in America, which means America will, I mean, Europe will remain indebted to America for life.
Yes. So this is what they are doing. So at the end of the day, everybody don't know that everyone is trying to outmatch each other. So what we are seeing here is not basically that because of their dependence on Russia, but Russia too used that to make sure he hold Europe to ransom. And to a certain level, when you hold Europe to ransom, America is being held to ransom to a certain level. So that is the game that they are playing. And at the end of the day, they are using us as guinea pigs to write their own theory. So this is what we don't want anymore. It's a gradual process. If those Sahel countries join, before you know it, Congo is joining. Before you know it, anybody, even if it takes Nigeria to be the last country to join, there's no problem. Because what I am telling I told somebody yesterday that because there's no problem, Nigeria will cease to exist in little or no time. So we will see how they will still manipulate Africa.
It's a matter of time. Against the people that the Northerners said this Sharia not will support, they will support their cousins from that side. I promise.
So that is something like, so anybody that is wishing, oh, that Tinubu should go, okay, no problem. Let him go. If them born in Papa, well, let him go. That in Mama went there for grave. If them born that in Mama went there for grave, well, let him go there.
It should. It should.
It is
it's got 2 months to do it now before Trump comes on.
Let him go there. There's no problem.
Thank you so much, Osita, for stopping by again, as usual. All right. Thank you very much, sir. You have a very good evening over there. So I have another caller. Meanwhile, we are already running out of our time. We currently have just about 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes. So if you haven't really paid your own offering, liking the broadcast, please do now before it is too late. Hello there. Did I get you or did I miss you? Oh, that's the problem with you know, WhatsApp, right? You get connected, but you're not connected. Let's do it again, ma'am. Keep trying, by the way. So, and if you are okay, I think I got another caller there. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I am all right, Mr. Maidu.
Yes, sir. Ola. Should I call you Ola? You might need to.
Can you call me what?
See, you know what to do. You need to mute the broadcast too and talk to me on your phone.
Oh, sorry.
It's
sorry
a little bit
about that.
delayed. If you are listening to the broadcast, it's a bit delayed. So let's talk on the phone directly.
All right.
Yes, sir.
I've done that now.
How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Thank you. How are you too?
Fantastic, sir. I'm very well. Oh, thanks for asking. Please.
My good. So you are the Odogbolu man.
Very, very Odogbolu and the Jebu. I just love Odogbolu more. That's my maternal home.
Because at my school in Odogbolu, I went to Federal Government College Odogbolu.
Did you? When was that?
Yeah, I did. Around 84 to 86.
Ah, you are my uncle then. That was the year I was born. That was like 40 years ago. Baba?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot has happened.
I had the day of my life, the time of my life.
Bless you.
Because
so
I'm a Lagos man.
Fego product. And they tend
exactly. That's the name. Fego, yeah.
Federal government.
So, and first time I was going to be out of Lagos State, but I thought I was afraid when leaving. But when I got there, I just loved it. We used to go to Pomola. If you know this place they call Pomola in Odogbolu.
Pomola, now?
Yeah, that's
the garage.
We used to smuggle ourselves out of the school. Yeah, that's the garage. Nice one. We used to go to Pomola. And we eat, and eat.
And you have to come through the bush, you can't pass through the main road, though. You have to be jungle, enter bush, and enter the garage.
The teachers' quarters. We have to go through underground in the grove. Walk on our bellies for up to about 1 hour. Up to 1 hour under the belly. And I used to say, hey, what if we come across a python under this undergrowth? We can't turn down. We can't turn back because there are about 10 people behind me. So if you face a snake, where are we going to go? Or is the snake going to turn back for us?
That's some memories, Baba. That's some memories.
Yeah.
Here we are today. At the worst stage.
Yeah, we are today.
We are here at the worst stage right now, discussing the issue that affects all, not just ourselves, but our loved ones too. It's really an interesting stuff, Baba.
When I look at the world, everybody, looking over our environment, we think everything is settled. We think everything is but underneath, you have one that can think deeply. When you think deeply, and then you see things around you that other people don't see, and that's the kind of person I am.
And you become concerned.
Even in this Europe that we are, in this Europe that we are, that everybody thinks, oh, I win 1 year, and I just look and I say, There was a time I went on a trip. To Nigeria, and I saw one of my cousins, Dakweti, because I'm Dapo. So he came to me one day and he said, Uncle, you're looking fresh. I look at your skin. I said, that thing, we are just managing. He said, manage care. Mo wá wò pé òótọ́ làwọn àgbààgbà máa ń sọ pé nǹkan ibi tágbà jókòó sí nǹkan tó rí ọmọdé tó wà ní òkè ajá mẹ́rìndínlógún lọ́hùn kò lè rí you can never see because it took many years because my sisters they want to join me and come to Europe and I said to them, you know what, the stage you are right now, if you leave everything and you say you want to come over to Europe, whichever part of the diaspora you're talking about, they're all the same, they operate on the same level. I said, do you know that it's going to take you like 20 years? 20, and that is if you are lucky, before you get to that stage that you are in Nigeria or whatever you think you want to live in Nigeria and fly out.
It's like starting afresh. Yes.
Exactly. Because what they said to me was because they all did their professional courses in the UK. So they are thinking because their standard is UK recognized that they will get a job here. Most of them are directors of their insurance companies all over in Nigeria.
I understand how it feels sometimes, but starting all over again, that's some boss move.
When you mentioned it,
Nigeria continue to make them think that way. People are selling off everything they have. They are leaving everything behind. to go and start afresh elsewhere. This is the calamity. This is the tragedy of bad leadership. There are some people are not understanding.
At all. But then when they asked me, it wasn't like they asked me 2 years ago, 5 years ago. No, this was almost 10 years ago that I advised them.
So things are pretty much worse now.
I said, you know I won't mislead you. That was what I said to them. I said, you know I will never mislead you. And I'm glad I'm your elder brother because I'm the eldest out of 5. That's what I said to them. That you just tell your husband that this is my advice. That you guys should just sit low and mind and look after what God has given you. It's not like that. You are suffering where you are. You are not. You can fly out anywhere you want. I've got all the visas. So it's not like there's anything you are looking for that or you are lacking right now. And your kids, if your kids want to come and educate themselves here, yeah, they're welcome. But you, me, your husband, who is almost my mate, I won't advise this. It won't be rosy. It won't be rosy. I'm not going to lie to you. And I'm glad they listen to me.
Man, they'll probably be thanking you for it, Joe, because it's not many people who are so lucky to have such. You know, I have seen people who have sold everything and they came here. You see, Nigeria has a way of taking everything away from us. And there are those who have, who have actually fallen into that trap. Unfortunately, only when they got here, they realized that it wasn't as planned to start afresh. It's not for everyone. We should all be honest. Baba, thank you so much because of our time, okay? It's really a pleasure to speak to you.
Nice speaking to you. For first-time callers.
I know, and it's such a pleasure, okay? Enjoy the rest of the evening, and I hope I speak to you again.
Okay, then take care.
Yes, sir. My regards to everyone as well, okay? Stay safe, Baba. So our time is fast spent, and as much as I would love to take more calls, I think we should just postpone it to another time from tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I enjoyed myself, and I hope you did as well. Listen, if as you are leaving the broadcaster this evening, everything we have shared, go on and digest them, okay? Nothing to be forced. We are all learning from what is called the geopolitics, regional politics, to know how the world is moving around us. And it is ideal for us to know so that you don't get caught in the web. I am going to see you again. Enjoy the rest of your evening or night, and good night from here.
Ayégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Ayégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Ayégún làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Ayégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Ayégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Ayégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Ayégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí. Máyégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí. Máyégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Máyégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Máyégún dáyàrí politico. Máyégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún. Máyégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Máyégún dáyàrí ayébi nọ́mbà wá. Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Máyégún dáyàrí ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì àní ẹ̀ súnra kì lórí Facebook àní ẹ̀ súnra kì lórí YouTube àní ẹ̀ súnra kì bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́ àní ẹ̀ súnra kì ijó ìgbádìyẹ àní ẹ̀ súnra kì pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o àní ẹ̀ súnra kì gómìnà kówó jẹ àní ẹ̀ súnra kì ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá àní ẹ̀ súnra kì aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o àní ẹ̀ súnra kì òkúra olóṣèlú àní ẹ̀ súnra kì ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì àní ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ̀lú ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.